So we're going to learn part of Farbrengen from Yud Shvat, Yud Tavshin Lamed Daled. It's actually like the same kaviyas like this year, where Shabbos, Parshas Beshalach, which is not such a common thing, was Yud Shvat. And the Farbrengen that the Rebbe held, in addition, most probably to Shabbos by day, was Motzoei Shabbos. So let's skip down to line 22. And over there, the Rebbe is speaking about the idea of a yahrzeit and what we learn out from the fact that the yahrzeit is on Motzoei Shabbos, Parshas Beshalach. Actually, let's skip over to line 31. And over there, speaking about the yahrzeit being on Parshas Beshalach, this is what the emphasis is going to be, the connection. Line 31. Duber le'el. One of the points of the idea of Beshalach, Shezeu Hashem, that's the name, Sheboy Nikra HaParsha Kula, that the entire Parsha is called by the name Beshalach. It's not just the first word in the Parsha. The name of the Parsha is Beshalach. V'gam HaShabbos Nikra Shabbos Parsha Beshalach. We also refer to the Shabbos as the Shabbos of Parsha Beshalach. So what type of way, what do we see about it? How did the Yidden leave Mitzrayim? It's a very unique way. They were sent. They were sent out of Mitzrayim. Vashiluach hoyam ayidei paroi. That the sending out was through Paroi, Melech Mitzrayim, the king of Mitzrayim. Beshalach Paroi esa'am. The pasuk emphasizes when Paroi sent out the nation. Hainu sheParoi ba'atzmi misayeo machliach va'oises kol atoli b'shavnei Yisrael yetzim Mitzrayim. Paroi himself assists and forces and does everything that's dependent upon him that the Yidden should go out of Mitzrayim. Included in Paroi sending the Yidden out and doing everything in his power to ensure that the Yidden leave Mitzrayim. So part of it is also the manner in which they left Mitzrayim. And what manner did they go out of Mitzrayim? By Yinatzlos Mitzrayim, they emptied out Mitzrayim. And they made it like a bird trap without any grain to entice the birds. Like the deep of the sea that is emptied of fish. Like the explanation behind it is, what's the significance of having both these descriptions used as far as the Yidden emptying out Mitzrayim? The idea that they emptied out Mitzrayim, it was both concerning matters having to do with grain. Grain has to do with the land, the land from which bread is derived from. It notes that the idea of the world of revelation, meaning godliness, the way it allows for the revelation of creations and so on. Both concerning matters have to do with fish that are creatures of the sea, that shows on the concealed worlds that all creatures in the concealed and higher worlds live encompassed in godliness like fish in the sea. Skip the brackets to the next line. That they took everything out of the trap and out of the deep. They took everything out of the concealed and revealed worlds. And the Rebbe goes on to say in the brackets, this is also the reason in line 8 why it's prohibited to return to Mitzrayim, like it says in the Pasuk. You will not see them anymore. Like that Rizal explains. That when the Yidden went out of Mitzrayim, the Jewish people took along with them all the sparks of holiness that were present over there. Therefore, a place that has no godly spark, Ein li Yehudi malas sham. A Jew has no business there. Yehudi, because by a Jew, kol tnua v'chol rega mechayev, every movement and every moment of his life, mechushavim letzorach avodas lekoinei, is calculated for the sake of his service to his master. I was only created to serve my Maker. Since his entire being from which a Yid was created for was to serve his Maker, it's understood, but Pashas Alpidin, simply according to Halacha, when there is a certain moment that he doesn't serve his Maker in it, this is contradictory and the opposite of his entire creation. Therefore, when there's a land that all sparks of holiness was already extracted from it. Whether those matters that were revealed like in a trap, and also those matters that were concealed in the depth, skip the parentheses, so it's prohibited for a Yid to go over there. But afterwards, they were brought over there new sparks of holiness. That's why, in actuality, Al Pi Halacha, the Rambam says that it's only prohibited to settle over there, or like some Mefarshim say, as a nation to return over there. But to return for business purposes, you're allowed to, because some new sparks landed back in Mitzrayim, the Rebbe brings down. Very interesting point about that the Rebbe explains in a different sikha. So, since there was a need to do business, what's the business of a Jew? The business of a Jew is extracting sparks of holiness, to return and to extract the sparks of holiness. But since these sparks of holiness are not associated with this place in an established way, it's like more of a temporary location for these sparks. They don't have to do mitzad hayishuv atzmai. They're not part of the very nature of Egypt. They just arrived over there through others that were traveling through. They were only brought over there through a traveler that passed by this place. Therefore, the permission to return to Mitzrayim is only in a temporary manner, just like the sparks are there, not in and of Egypt itself, but only in a temporary type of way. For business, but not to settle down in Egypt. That's one aspect of the manner in which the Yidden were sent out of Mitzrayim. In addition to that, this was in such a manner that the Jewish people were going out with a raised up hand. What does it mean, a raised up hand? Says the Targum Onkelos, Bereish Gelei, open, revealed, they weren't scurrying away in the night. Pirish Rashi, like Rashi himself explains on these words, Begvura Gvoiha Umufarsemis, in a high and well-known might. The Kivush Hayitziyah Mitzrayim Ba'ofen the Beshalach Paroi, since the way Yidden went out of Mitzrayim was in such a way that Paroi sent them out, that he was a superpower, he was ruling over the world, like it's explained in the Medrashim. It's in such a manner that the Yidden go out with an upraised hand, a high might and well-known might. That in the entire world it was known, and it became famous about the Yidden going out, because Paroi Mitzrayim was well known over the entire world. And so too spiritually, and so too in all of the worlds in their entirety.